Notes 316, Study Session 15. Summary. Introduction. In this concluding lecture, we will summarize the main arguments and explanations in the preceding lectures. We should recollect that all the lectures concentrated on various aspects of the area of study called the methodology of comparative politics. In general, different ideas, concepts, and theories were explained, and thereafter applied to explain happenings in Nigeria as a political system. Learning outcomes. It is hoped that at the end of this lecture, students will be able to recall or recapitulate the main points in the previous lectures in this course and write a brief but succinct essay on any of the topics discussed in those lectures. Summary of the course. At the beginning of this course, we examined the subject matter of comparative politics by first preferring various definitions and thereafter explaining the need for the study of comparative politics as well as the benefits that such an exercise can bring for the entire area of study called political science. In Lecture 2, we showed that the study of comparative politics, just like the whole of political science, can be based on three main approaches, namely, normative philosophical approach, descriptive institutional approach, and behavioral approach. In short, the behavioral approach appears to be a revolution which challenged the older normative philosophical and descriptive institutional approaches to the study of comparative politics. It emphasized the need to make the study more scientific in orientation and more receptive to methodological developments in other fields of the social sciences like economics, psychology, geography, and sociology. More specifically, we listed and discussed the foundation stones or principles of behavioralism as enunciated by David Easton and which relate to regularities, verification, techniques, quantifications, value, systematization, pure science, and integration. Lectures 3 and 4 concentrated on political culture and its various types, which include the mature or participant, subject and minimal or parochial political cultures. As a political concept in which different levels of participation in politics and public affairs in general could be assessed, we adopted political culture as a tool for comparative analysis. In other words, we argued, for instance, that mature political cultures typify countries like USA, United Kingdom, Germany, and Netherlands, among several other places where the citizens are generally encouraged to participate in politics, while Russia, Spain under General Franco, and some other countries where citizens are relatively passive and less interested in politics as examples of subject political culture, just as in the case minimal and parochial, such as Nigeria and several other parts of the less developed world were selected as examples. The basic elements of political culture that we discuss include cognitive, affective, and evaluative orientations. Also, we discuss such factors as history, geography, socioeconomic status, as well as political traditions and customs as essential components of political culture. Finally, in this chapter, we examine the subject matter of political change and its various dimensions. Also, the effects of incremental and, on the other hand, fundamental changes on society were discussed. In lectures 5, 6, and 7, the main focus was political socialization. We looked at the meaning and roles of political socialization. In simple terms, political socialization was defined as entailing the induction of members into a society's political culture, while its roles were described as including the intergenerational transmission of political culture, the maintenance of stability, regulation of the behavior of individuals in socially acceptable ways, and role training. Also, we discussed that socialization can be undertaken by primary, that is, family and secondary agencies, such as schools, peer and professional groups, mass media, etc. Similarly, we analyzed that the socialization process can be latent or manifest, that its time span may embrace an individual's formative or mature years, and that it can produce either an incremental or a fundamental change. Finally, we examined the impact of socialization on political participation. For this, we specifically examined the roles of authority pattern in the family, parents, socioeconomic status, parents' civic knowledge, parental political involvement, and child's involvement in high school activities. The combination of these 5 factors, but involvement in school activities in particular, was clearly analyzed to be important in shaping an individual's subsequent participation in politics and public affairs in general. In Lecture 8, we selected different types of government, ranging from the ones by an individual, such as monarchy, to those by a few individuals, like aristocracy and oligarchy, and the ones by many individuals, such as democracy. Also, we analyzed different institutional arrangements like federal structures, unitary systems, presidential and parliamentary systems of government, as well as written and unwritten constitutions and their distinctive features that are applicable for the purpose of comparison. In the 9th lecture, we examined and analyzed institutional forms in government. This included discussion of the functions of the legislature, executive, and judiciary. Meanwhile, from Lecture 10 up to 14, we concentrated our focus on Nigeria by applying the knowledge acquired in the earlier lectures and discuss to discuss the country's specific experiences under the parliamentary and presidential systems as examples of civil rule on the one hand and the different military regimes on the other hand. We equally listed the advantages of civil rule over and above military rule as we did a comparison of the features and characteristics of the 2 different regime types. In this concluding lecture, an attempt is being made to provide a summary of the highlights of the preceding 14 lectures. It is hoped that you have benefited immensely from this course. A careful reading and revision of our lecture notes and the use of some of the texts cited in the references at the end of each lecture for the purpose of the further readings will boost your understanding of the whole subject matter of the methodology of comparative politics. Study session summary. The lecture has summarized the major points that were made in the 9 preceding lectures. With this, we have come to the end of Post 316. Thank you for listening.